Okay, so I promised that we would invite a special guest here, and we did, but I feel like we have to get this out earlier. So the time is now because I am outraged, I am angry, and I will talk about it right after the theme song.
I have a question for you.
Why do you seem so scared?
Hi, I'm Nina.
And my name is Andrew. Welcome to Frightening, Alarming, Real Life Tales Show, a podcast where we talk about scary things that may or may not have happened in real life.
You don't know about that?
No.
You don't know about that? Oh my god.
I am genuinely freaked out.
So sit back, relax, and try not to go crazy with fright.
Aren't we all crazy?
Don't say I didn't warn you.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Nins.
Why so mad? You mentioned like you're angry. Why you so mad?
Well, I am angry because okay, so you know how in the past few weeks all this shit has been happening in the world. What with the
Virus,
the disasters,
pandemic,
the
disaster.
with the police brutality, and I always see that online, so it's just making me really really mad right now. Now, okay, I didn't want to tackle anything political
Yeah.
in this podcast because I wanted this to be a place where we could just have fun, But I feel like right now we have to talk about it now. We have to say it now.
Yeah.
For me, Nins, ultimately it boils down to two things, the things that are happening in the world. People are experiencing injustices and the system is trying to silence that.
True.
And it's boiling my blood so much. The topic is really difficult to unravel for me. There are literally shows about police brutality, the Black Lives Matter movement, and whatever the fuck is happening in the Philippines right now. And to everyone who's listening, me and Nins are nowhere near the people who should be the ones to unbox all of this.
True.
So just recently, a bill came to everyone's attention. Do you know about that bill?
Yeah. Is it approved already, or is it still like pending or something?
At the time of the recording,
Because I'm not so sure.
at the time of the recording, not yet, right? It's called the anti-terrorism bill, and it's raised concern online. So if you're on Twitter, if you're on Facebook, then you would know what I'm talking about because literally everyone is talking about it. Even celebrities, the international community. And then there are literally lawyers, talking about it, warning against it.
True.
So, I had a little read through and I was like, it's going to help combat the terrorism situation in the Philippines. But the more I read it, the more it became
Yeah.
parang off
True.
ba? Do you get what I'm saying? Now,
Because if I'm correct with it, correct me if I'm wrong. What I understand with it is that legally they can hold you accountable and like sort of detain you, even for just mere speculation of what's it called? Like you're going against say for example the president or like the Philippines itself. You're going against something like that. Correct?
the bill parang they set the standard of what terrorism is. So in that thinking, the government has way too much power and not a lot of accountability, which is what we want, right? What the people want. They want to make sure that the laws that are enacted are fair for everyone and they don't step on the rights of others.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
going to be,
Yeah.
abused.
And
Yeah.
I read through it. They can literally wiretap you. They can, if they suspect us as
Anyone.
yeah, if they suspect us as terrorists, then they could potentially listen in to our conversation right now. The law gives them, if that
Yeah.
bill is passed, that gives them the means to do it because it's legal. Under the bill, there's going to be a council. I think it's called the Anti-Terrorism Council or something like that. It's called ATC, and then basically they can define what what counts as terrorism and what is not. And like with that, it also reading through the bill, I found out that they lowered the standard. They lowered what is considered ano ba to? Parang they lowered the. My brain isn't working. It's angry. Oh, they lowered the consequences that the government might face if they detain someone wrongfully. Yeah.
The wrong person.
Parang they abolished the 500,000 compensation that the person who was wrongfully detained gets. And then there's also I also read that they can arrest you and keep you in jail from what was 3 days before to what is now 14 to 24 days. So without a warrant of arrest, so it's giving so much power to the government, and what lacks is the accountability. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm reading.
For me, I'm not against it. It's actually good. Like it's actually good that we do have like the mindset of like this is happening. We do need this and so on. It's just, for me, I would like that they revise it some more.
Yeah.
Go through it again and like make sure
Actually, yeah. I mean, I will agree with you that we do need more laws that can help us combat terrorism, because that is a problem that we face here in the Philippines. But of course, I don't have everything right in front of me. I don't have all the information. This is all everything that I'm talking about is all from what I can remember from reading about it and from reading what other people think about the bill. So if you want to read more about it, it's all over the internet. It's a simple search sa Google, and there's countless articles about it. Of course, I'm frustrated with that, but my main frustration, Nins, comes from some people who literally don't want anything to do with these issues.
What do you mean?
Some of them would prefer to stay quote unquote neutral.
Okay.
Guess what? You staying neutral is you enabling these injustices to happen everywhere. Diba?
Yeah.
Like, because you're not taking a side, because you're not standing up for what is right, because you are not standing up for the oppressed, you are siding with the oppressor. I forgot who said that.
I forgot who. Because you know it's happening, you're aware of it, you see it on the news, you do talk about it. I mean, if you don't, then it's okay, I guess. But like it's better that you're aware of what like your surrounding is going through, what's going on where you are.
But like, okay, people have no excuse anymore to be ignorant of the law. We have the internet, we have radio, we have media. If you can listen to this podcast right now, then you can probably read like news sites, right? You can probably go on Twitter. You can
Articles,
probably see it on Facebook that people are talking about this. And yet, I'm talking to those people, not siding with anyone who's trying to stay
Yeah.
neutral,
No.
who'd rather keep silent. Parang you have no excuse to be ignorant. You have no excuse because this is going to affect you, and this is going to affect your loved ones, and this is going to affect the people of the Philippines. Literally, the person who's trying to stay neutral, have no idea that voicing frustrations, voicing thoughts, your grievances, and doing what people would label as activism, all
Yeah.
allowed you to enjoy the rights that you have right now. Literally, our independence as a country was achieved because people fought for it.
Stood up for it, spoke about it, did generally something about it.
The gay rights movement, that was accelerated in America and possibly worldwide because a black transgender woman and a drag queen stood up against the injustices they experienced back in June 28, 1969.
Yeah, there's like a lot of examples.
Yeah, there's a lot of examples, but these are things that we should already know because it's what was taught in our history classes. It's if not, then it's all over the internet. Literally, there's literally days, there's literally events in the year that seek to remind everyone what happened in the past, 'di ba? Why do you think we have Philippine Independence Day? Why do you think we have
Yeah,
Pride
to
Month?
celebrate it.
Not just to celebrate, but
Yeah.
to also remind the people now what they have was because people in the past fought for it. What I'm asking you to do is to learn more about the anti-terrorism bill,
The listener.
the Black Lives Movement, the gay rights movement, and other similar social issues, and to be active in the society. If you feel something is unfair, then you should talk about it. Don't stay neutral. You can't. If you value human rights, then you need to be fighting for them because there are people trying to take that away from you. Why others are like afraid to speak up because they feel like, oh, we're not experts in this. No, you don't have to be an expert in something to literally talk about it. All you have to do is be affected by it and, see its effects for you to be able to speak about it. If we are wrong, then feel free to correct us because
Yeah, and then we'll learn
opinions
about it.
are not cement. They're not set in stone. They're not permanent.
Yeah.
Opinions are meant to change when new information comes in, right? And that's why if also we see
Like,
these
we should
people
learn
who
from
are
each other in a sense.
if we see these people who are parang wrong, quote unquote, parang have a bad opinion on something, we can choose to educate them and help them see why their way of thinking is wrong, right? Diba?
I mean, the world isn't all black and white.
Yeah, the world isn't black and white. Anyway, Nins, that's all.
That's aside all the seriousness. Yeah.
I'm just very angry.
How was your day?
My day was good. I slept the whole day because sometimes you just gotta get away from
For
social
you.
media. But I
Oh my
kind of
God,
need
I
to calm
forgot.
down. So
Did you?
what?
That's good. I just remembered yesterday.
What? What do you mean?
Okay, yeah, sure. Like yesterday we had like no electricity for almost. We didn't have electricity yesterday for like almost 12 hours.
What? Really?
Yeah,
You didn't have electricity for almost 12 hours?
yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, cause like
Why?
I don't know. I don't know where the city.
My repair?
I don't know. I maybe I didn't. I wasn't on the page, or like I didn't know where to get information on it. But like as far as I know, people have been telling me, "Hey, dude, your area is gonna be like no electricity for like 6 a.m. to 6 p.m." I'm like, nope. I'm gonna like try to sleep everything the entire day, no matter how hot it is. Anyways, we'll just be right back.
Anyway, we'll be right back. I'll try to calm down. Me and Nins will try to calm down. Because I don't know if Nins is angry, but I am. So yeah, we'll be right back. And we're back, Nins.
Yes.
All right, so today we chose stories, sort of, that would fit into the theme of the banter. Usually we don't do that, but I wanted to make sure this whole episode was cohesive and parang everything was connected. So I believe you have the first story.
Oh, do I? Okay, sure.
Yeah, you do.
Oh,
But
okay.
first, here we go.
Something for your ear hole, a tale to scare. This one talks about a murder, that one wails about a ghost, and will Nina read them? Yes, indeed. Now something for your ear holes, a tale to scare. Searching here and there and everywhere, crying stories. Nina, please, can't you read them? Oh yes, she do.
Hi, Nins. You ready?
Sure. So when I was looking into like the general concept of what we're going to read on, or like, you know, I was thinking, oh, oppression and so on. It's like immediate thinking would be like, Hitler regime or something like that. And I realized, why not like Holocaust? So I looked it up and I found this story from United Nations. This was actually fairly recent, I believe. This was back in January 27th, 2020. So there's a keynote speaker. It was held in New York. He has, if you go into the UN link or like their website, you can look it up. It's about like 19, almost 20-minute long speech that he has. You can watch all that and so forth. It's just like watching it, listening to how he speaks, reading through all this. It's just really sad that these people like were taken out of their normal, like as we are now, that we are taken out of our normal due to the pandemic, but they were taken out of their normal due to the whole Holocaust that he mentioned. I'm just gonna point out a few things that he mentioned that were in. About a third of the whole Jewish population was murdered during that time, and countless of others as well. He the speaker also mentioned that the entire thing is basically an industrial genocide due to hatred and it's really terrible because for those who don't know, it's this event. I'm pretty sure everyone knows, but it's this event wherein
Wherein,
a lot of people were in a way just because they or someone wanted this, if Hitler wanted this, you know. Yeah, I can't stress enough how horrible it was. One quote that he mentioned, which sort of struck me, is this. This is a direct quote from him. The Holocaust was not simply the result of insanity of the criminal Nazi. It was a culmination of centuries of hatred, scapegoat, and discrimination. They're being discriminated because they're Jewish. They're being hated because this is their beliefs. Like these people have suffered so much. There are other panels who were also in it as well. They share their stories on this one where Miss Miss Sashar, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing the name incorrectly. Miss Sashar recalled one afternoon that she and her mother were out searching for food on the streets, and then they could hear the blood-curdling screams of people, screams of victims. And like her mother yanked her arm and took her off a different direction, just to lay low and just try to like survive another day. There was even the keynote speaker, also mentioned that there was this boy, a young Nazi boy. He is very young, but he spared two people, the grandparents of some other survivor. Like he spared them, and that's sparing these Jewish people not just cost him, his rent on where he is on during that time, but also would probably cost him his life. It's like that would be abandonment and so forth, and he could be really put for it. It's really terrible during these days and times. And then this whole article that I read on was on January, just this year. They were basically trying to commemorate and talk about the whole
event.
situation that happened back in the day. Yeah. So there was one of the Holocaust survivors that mentioned that quote that I would have to quote: "I stand today in front of you to tell you Hitler did not win." I remember, she was born in Poland in 1937, and I think she wasn't even 2 back then when the Nazis invaded. And then she started growing up, she started starving. It's like, can you imagine growing up, being a young kid, like not being taken out of school, being taken out of your daily life, or like being starved, and like your parents or like your siblings trying to prevent you to look at the dead bodies of like all around you, which is fairly common during that time. It's like it's really something else.
Yeah, it's quite scary thinking about what people went through. And yeah, in fact, we should be remembering these things that happened in the past, so that we can see the pattern that happened before and notice when something like that is going to happen again. Diba?
True.
So that's why the UN emphasized that we should be remembering these events that happened in the past. And it's horrific. Like, I'm at a loss for words that this ever happened in the first place, because no one, not even I wouldn't want something like the Holocaust. I wouldn't want my worst enemy to experience the Holocaust. You get what I'm saying? No one should ever have to experience being discriminated because of something that they were born into.
Their belief.
Their belief,
Yeah.
their skin color, their sexual orientation. Yeah, and it's scary that that happened before. That's scary that happened before. So thank you so much, Nins. When we come back, it'll be my turn to do the story. And I think it's somewhat connected to Ninya's story. We'll be right back. And welcome back. We
It's your
we're
story.
taking we're taking like long breaks because we're trying not to
Because I
we're
keep
trying
making it funny.
we're trying not to ruin the atmosphere of the show, the show to the episode, because the episode is pretty serious, just saying. So we're doing our
Yeah.
banter like in between the breaks. We're doing our catch up. I wanted to come back to something that you said earlier. So you have friends right now who are posting on their Facebook about these fake accounts that's happening
Yeah,
right now.
yeah. I think I saw like two people. They're like, "Hey guys, can someone block this? This is a fake account. This is not me." And then Vivian, no, not Vivian. Who was it?
Vivian, the Vivian that I know.
No, not Vivian. Not
Oh, okay.
I forgot. Was that like someone was like, "Hey guys, if anyone like saw or like a different like post like pretending to be me, remember this is my only account and so on." I'm like, okay.
Grabe.
Sorry, my brain just died because I'm like on Instagram right now.
Anyway, it's my turn to tell the story, and it's somewhat connected to whatever Ninya talked about kanina, which was the Holocaust. Here we go.
There's a story for you in this hand of mine. You can't stop the things I do. I lie. I've searched high and low, wrote down an essay. Now Andrew is back, and there's hell to pay. There's a story for you. And this hand
Okay, so it's now my turn. What are you doing?
What?
The electric fan. Your fan is like.
Oh,
Going.
sorry. Like I'm standing up. Try ako magkuha ng bug spray because bugs.
Okay. Anyway, so my story for today is
Wait.
actually.
I'm
what?
gonna say something. Mag-spray ako while nagachika ka. So I'm sorry. I don't know if you can hear it though.
I can
you hear it? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Okay. Try not to. You can still hear it.
Okay na.
Wait, ang taas na. Okay,
Yeah, I can still
think
hear
I
it.
think my bug sa my computer and then I can't get to the computer. It's my bug. Fucking hate. But yeah, I'm done.
Ready na?
Yes.
Right. So my story for today is somewhat connected to Ninza's story. Well, partially because back in the times of the Holocaust, actually the color pink was not a girl's
Women's
color.
color.
It was actually
It was
a boy's
guy's.
color, and because of the Third Reich, that changed, everything that changed how people perceived pink. So pink became a feminine color because it was associated with people who were feminine. So basically, a quick history lesson. Back in the Holocaust, they would take homosexual people to the concentration camps, and they would brand their clothes with a pink triangle.
Auschwitz.
And that's how you knew that they were a gay or homosexual or queer. But that's not what I'm going to talk about, because what I'm going to be talking about is actually somewhere closer to modern times. And I remember this one story, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to be talking about that one story. But the more I read about it, the more I found out that this is actually something that still happens, like, to a lot of people. Did you know that the Philippines has been celebrated as one of the most LGBTQ plus tolerant countries in Southeast Asia? Yeah,
Really?
it has. Well,
Okay.
imagine that you're walking by the beach. Calm waves, warm white sand, and then out in the distance, you notice a naked woman lying on the ground. Now, getting closer, you notice that the white sand is sprinkled with red blood around her. Her neck was almost completely cut through, and her right eye was gouged with a slash of what was presumed to be a knife or a machete or something that you used to cut with.
Butter knife.
No, her name is Jessa Remiendo, and she is a transgender woman. Now, how about this? You work at a motel and you see two people check in, a woman and a U.S. Marine. 30 minutes later, you see the U.S. Marine leaving the motel, keeping the door to their room slightly open. Now, you would expect that the woman would come out right after, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't. So you go and check what's inside, and you find a woman half naked lying in the bathroom with her neck black from strangulation and her head in the toilet bowl.
Oh.
This is one of the more famous ones. Her name is Jennifer Laude, and she is also a transgender woman. Do you see where I'm going?
Yeah.
It's not just them two. It's not just Jessa. It's not just Jennifer. It's also someone named Natalia Ann Gonzalez. It's also Mary Joy Año Nuevo, Barbie Ann Rayleigh. So, and there are more. I'm talking about hate crimes against the LGBT plus community that happen in the Philippines. Now, personally, this okay, I'm becoming angry again because I can't believe this is still happening. Do you know the case yung kay Jessa?
Yeah.
That literally happened last
Really?
year? I think it was. Yeah, 2019, I think. Somewhere around September.
Last year lang yun.
I can't believe that this is still happening. It is scary that I could, because I am part of the LGBTQ plus community. I literally have a boyfriend, and it's personally scary that individuals like us are being singled out and being like persecuted, or we're being targeted, we're being discriminated just because of our sexual orientation,
Sexuality.
our gender identity or expression, basically our soji. Murder is scary, like, regardless. The LGBTQ plus community is one of those marginalized sectors. Parang, of course, I cannot compare them to the indigent people. We all have different struggles. Pero there are LGBTQ plus people who are being discriminated. Yeah, so that's happening. And actually, this scary story actually has a somewhat of a solution. We can make this less scary. I wanted to talk about it because it's 2020. It's the 21st century, and I can't believe this is still something we are
Experience
people
it.
like me.
What's happening?
Yeah, parang it's still scary for people like me. Parang ganyan good. So, how can we make it less scary? So, first of all, we could enact comprehensive laws that specifically protect my fellow brothers and sisters and me sa LGBTQ plus community. We could also be no, not could, but we need to also be educating the youth of today about the LGBTQ plus community. And also, we need people to be vocal about injustices. And we also need people to be active sa mga organizations that seek to protect the people in my community. Right? So, diba, these are little, parang, these are things that we can do to help make this less scary. When me and Nins decided to start the show, we wanted to talk about scary stories like ghosts and like paranormal stuff.
Paranormal.
Yeah, and then like of course the occasional murder, kasi that's also scary, but parang I can't believe there are still stories like this that are happening that
Which is another.
parang yeah,
It's also scary.
it's scary. That's it. That's my story. Any thoughts?
Well, it's like in reality now, like no matter what century we're in, there's still going to be that thing from the past that keeps clinging. You know,
Yeah.
the whole racism, sexism. It's still there. It doesn't. You know, we have been trying. General human beings have been trying for years and years to like get it right this time in a way. It's just kind of sad that there are a lot of people who are trying their best. There are a lot of organizations that are like pushing through a better future, and then there are these people who just for some reason cling on to like the mentality, the brutality of the past. It's just
Yeah, parang ka-outdated mo ba, Bes? Parang get with the program. We are in the 21st century. This shouldn't be scary anymore. I should be scared that there's something underneath my bed, that I should be scared that my window has like
ghost walking behind it.
yeah, like someone looking through. I should be scared of that. I shouldn't be scared that I could be murdered because I like the same sex. Diba? Or it's just God. So anyway, we are not going to do the audience story today because I wanted to yeah, I wanted to end it on this note na always fight for injustices, always be vocal for injustices, and it's the 21st century.
Yeah.
You have no excuse to not be uneducated. You have no excuse to be ignorant of what is happening in the world right now, especially with the internet,
Yeah.
especially with the media coverage, especially with the dynamics of the world. Parang in a sense we are all connected already.
Yeah.
Before it could be like, oh, you're in Iloilo, I'm in Davao. Our paths would never cross, but now with the internet, and I'm not talking about those people who don't have access to the internet, because that's a different story, but like people like you and me, we have no excuse. We have no excuse.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, and with that, thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Frightening, Alarming Real Life Tales Show. You can follow Ninya on all her socials at Nin C Fernandez. That's NINCFERNANDEZ. I'm the Andrew Tops on everything. That's THEANDREWTOPS. And the show's on Facebook and Twitter. It's at FARTSPod, FARTSPOD. Remember, let's educate ourselves and take a stand for what we believe in. Bye.
Bye.